who was our special guest who spotted Rook takes H7 immediately?
Well, we have Grandmaster Susan Polgar, recent U.S. Chess Hall of Fame inductee, with Maurice.
Well, once a champion, always a champion, and this lady sees moves like this in her sleep, literally. But we would be listing accolades for hours if we started listing hers. Susan, the Hall of Famer, recent Hall of Famer, for all the great things that she has done in chess. I'm going to hold off, and I'll list them one by one as we continue the interview. Susan, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
Congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
Appreciate it.
Joining the induction into the Hall of Fame. You've been a world champion many times. You have coached champions as well. You became a Grandmaster, the first woman to do so officially. You won Olympic medals with your sisters. You're part of this trio. Everything came together at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and you gave such an impassioned speech. Tell us what that meant to you.
It was very, very touching, very, very nice. It was a recognition for not just my achievements, I felt, but also for everybody who helped me along the way, because it was a teamwork, starting with my parents who sacrificed so much for me being able to follow my passion and my dream. My sisters, all my coaches, my friends, including yourself. I remember when we were training for my upcoming World Championship while I was already in New York. And all the friends and the fans, you know, it's really a recognition to everybody who helped me along the way.
And you have coached so many great teams as well, just passing on that legacy to the next generation, as well as your Spice Cup and All-Girls Nationals. What do those efforts mean to you now that you are not playing anymore?
It means the world to me since I retired from competitive chess myself. I really enjoy sharing my knowledge and experience with the next generation, the students at Webster University, as well as throughout my foundation's events with girls. Especially dear to my heart is women's chess, and it's really heartwarming for me to see that over the past since 2003, well, 15 years or so since I started my foundation, the growth of women's chess is really noticeable, as we can see the Jenny Fairuse and Maggie Fang and Carissa Yip and other young, wonderful, talented players. I remember them then they were so little, tiny girls, and they came and they learned through the Girls Invitational that my foundation has hosted for 15 years already, coming up year 16. And it's really nice to see how far they went, and I look forward to see them go even much further.
You talk about 15 years ago. Carissa's only 15. Jennifer is 17. I mean, they were just starting out. They don't even know a time that the struggles that you and other women before you had. Speak a little bit about that change that has happened in the climate from women's chess, how it suffered in the past, and now it's starting to finally change.
Right. Well, I remember the days when I was a competitive player, a young girl, and it was a shock to people in those days when I would beat a male player or a male master or eventually grandmaster, and to the degree that some opponents even refused to shake hands or wipe the pieces of the board. So that's really was not easy, and then a lot of other challenges along the years, but things have somewhat improved, of course. The good news is I got them used to it, right? Enough opponents lost, and eventually to my sisters and other women players, that it's no longer a shocking surprise if a girl or woman beats a man. It's okay, if you're rated or you're a strong player, you beat another strong player or a lower rated player, it's normal regardless of gender. So there is certainly an accomplishment there. Although I have to say it hasn't yet fully changed. And I have to say, even as a coach, there has been numerous cases when some of the coaches of other teams or program directors wouldn't shake my hands when we won. So it's still a work in progress, but of course we made significant progress also.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. I remember I had the honor of playing your sister Sophia in a match, and we drew 3-3. That was one of the highlights of my experience as a competitor. But now, as you said, these young girls, they are playing like beasts, and 7 out of 12 youngsters in a tournament of this caliber Have you seen that anywhere in the world where the veterans are outnumbered by the kids?
No, it's really impressive. It's really impressive, and I think it's really a combination of things, how the chess culture has changed in the United States in front of my eyes. Since I'm here, I'm proud to say that I have started a little bit this whole revolution back when I moved here, and I started to make specific efforts in changing that. I remember when in fact, the whole reason I started my foundation was that there weren't any all-girl tournaments except the U.S. Women's Championship. That's it, one event a year, and everything else, it's all mixed. And I think it was really important for the girls get that extra encouragement and opportunities through those events. And I'm so pleased to see now that there are, in addition to my foundation's event, there are a number of other wonderful similar events that that give opportunities to young girls. And I think it's definitely part of the reason for the growth. And of course, Rex and Ginny Singfield is just amazing, all the support they have been giving to chess and also to girls and women's as well. So I think it's the whole culture. It's not only the specifics that necessarily just the events that are happening, but also the prospects that the young players today see compared to 20, 30 years ago, not just girls but boys as well. They see a much better perspective staying in chess, either as a player or even in other capacities as a coach or commentator or writer. Or so it has, the chess scene has really changed, I think, in front of our own eyes.
Absolutely. Beautifully said, well encapsulated. Before I let you go, we want to give you credit for this position because, as we said, once a champion, always a champion. You must get excited when you saw that move, Rook 8-7, and pointed out to us as you walked in. If we can bring up that position on the screen with Jennifer Yu, that possibility of Rook takes H7 right now. Susan just waltzed in and said, hey, Rook H7, what's up with that? That's a great line. What does that feeling give when you're coaching a student and you're sitting on the side and you go, hey, wait a minute, you better play this move? Do you ever feel like the competitive juices start flowing again?
Yeah, sometimes I still feel the butterflies, just as much as I used to when I used to play, when some of our students play an important game and I see the right move and I hope he'll find it or she finds it, and, usually they do, but once in a while they don't, so it's life.
Well, your team has won 7 national championships. Webster has. I'm sure your team is seeing some good moves.
For the most part. I'm very proud of them.
Thank you so much for joining us. So we are impressed by everything you've done in the world of chess and continue to do. And I've heard that the move was played, Rook 8-7.
Oh, it was?
Yes,
wow.
From your lips to Jennifer's ears. Move on the board. Susan Polgar, ladies and gentlemen, one of the great ambassadors of our sports, one of the great groundbreakers in our sport, and continues to do so at the very highest level. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.